Hi, and welcome to Like Totally Vegan. Today, my mother, Carol Hess, is going to show you how to make scrunchies. Scrunchies. Lots and lots of scrunchies. She's got her scrunchie on, I have my scrunchie on, and she made all these. She's been sewing since she was a young girl, right?
Yes, I had to. My pants weren't long enough, so I had to learn how to sew.
So today you'll finally get to learn how to make your own, so you can be like totally vegan.
Yeah.
And of course use cotton, because cotton is vegan, or polyester. Don't use wool or silk. So totally vegan. And you ready to get started?
I am.
All right.
Everyone, I'm going to show you how to make the scrunchies. You'll need first a piece of fabric 21 inches long, 4 inches wide. And I use pinking shears around the edge so it won't unravel when you turn it right side out. Now, what we're going to do also, we'll need a piece of elastic. I like this kind of elastic. It's not real tight, but it gives you enough so you can wrap it around. And then I have pins and a safety pin when we turn it right side out. Okay? And this also, my daughter's Hello Kitty sewing machine. So you're going to how to work it and sew with it. Okay? Thank you. Now we're going to start sewing. I want you to have of your strip, you want to take one of the short ends, fold it in half, right sides together. Now, I have this little bunny here I wanted to show you, and it's already attached, and I just sew along so I don't have to hold the strings. It's just ready to sew. Now what I want to do is sew just like a ½ inch in. I'll show you how to do it. Now we're only going to do 1/4 inch seams, because you don't need a large seam on this. You're not going to be, there isn't a lot of stress on the seam. So I'm going to take a couple of stitches, turn it, and then I'm going to sew all the way down to the other edge. Be sure as you're going along to keep these edges even so they don't fade away in the back. Now I'm at the other end, and I'm going to turn my handle, lift the foot, take a stitch, and then go in about 3 stitches. And then I'm going to detach, cut the bunny loose, lift the foot up so that I can sew off of the other edge and onto the bunny. Now we're ready to continue sewing. Okay, the elastic into the tube that we have here. See the tube? And this is the little pin. I'm going to take 2 safety pins. One is large and one is a little bit smaller, or you can use 2 large ones. And then the end, the elastic. We're going to put one of the elastic ends into the round hole, like this, of the safety pin. I'd like you to tie 2 knots. So that it won't come out as you're pulling it through. It tugs and it can come out. There we go. See how it came out? There. Now we'll take the other half, the other end, put it through the little hole, and tie 2 knots, because it too could come out undone. And then you'd end up with both of the pins on the outside of the tube. Okay. Maybe I would suggest you, while you're tying, to close the safety pins. There we go. Now, I'm going to take one end of the tube and put the pointy part of the safety pin into the little folded area there. Close it and then turn it so the head of the safety pin is down into the tube. Then we're going to take the other side of the tube and put the other safety pin, the larger safety pin, into the fold again. Close the pin and then tuck it down. Now we're going to kind of push the safety pin inside. You'll see that it's inside now. And you take the little folds and you pull on them. Then we go a little further, and again we pull on the little folds and they just come right out. And as it gets deeper in, then we just take our nails and like a claw, and it'll pull right through. These are going to look so cute. Yeah. On big girls and little girls. You see, I have one. So age doesn't matter. Okay. Now we're at the end. Now carefully turn it around, because it'll get tighter and tighter. But you want to pull the little folds right through. Keep moving. You can put your finger and kind of pull around like this. Yeah. Just be careful. Doesn't matter if the seam comes undone, because we're going to open up the seam anyway, because you're going to have to connect the 2 seams together. There we go. Now this end is still attached, and this end is still attached. And you can see, there we go. Okay, what we're going to do is look for the seam line. And I want the seam line to be the same place all the way around, and it's kind of twisted as you were turning it around. So you want to look and just pull a little bit. The elastic is attached to the tubing with the safety pins. Now, you want to hold on to this seam and hold on to this seam. Now, I've opened this seam up a little bit with my snippers or your little scissors, because we're going to have to sew these 2 seams together. Now then, carefully turn it around. Then I'm going to open this seam up to about 2 inches. We can close it later. Okay. Now then, I'm going to put right sides together, and I have some safety pins, or some straight pins. I'm going to pin this one so it'll stay in place, and then go around and place the 2 other end together. With a straight pin. Now then we're going to sew them carefully together. I'm going to go slowly. Don't forget your bunny. At a 1/4 inch. And do not sew over the pin. Pull the pin out, because that's one good way to ruin your needle. Okay. We're just going to do up a little bit. More. Now we're coming to the safety pins. So all you need to do, that's just holding our elastic in place. Pull them out on either side, but don't take the elastic off, because you don't want to lose that. Close the pins, because at least we'll have a way now to get the pins back up. Okay, I've moved it around so I can get the two sides together, and just do it slowly. I lift up my foot so you can move the two around, and keeping the elastic, the safety pins and the elastic over to one side, because you have a little tight area right here. Do the best you can. We can fix it later. The straight pin is just helping move it through. You might think about doing this part by hand. Do some hand stitching, because you're working in a real tight space. Now I've unpinned the other end of the straight pin. Okay, now hands down, or the foot down. Now we'll sew right off the edge. Yeah, and now don't forget the bunny. Attach it to this end, and then clip it. Okay, what we did, we added the one side to the other side, so it'll be one long tube, and you just sewed around it like this. Sometimes working in such a small area, it might be easier to hand stitch it around. It doesn't need to be really stitched by machine if you don't want to. Now you notice this one's peeking through. Well, the other one got lost, so but we can see it with our hands. So all we have to do is push it through. That's why we have the pins attached to, to the elastic band. That way we don't lose both sides and have to start all over again. There it is. Ta-da! Okay. Now then, I'll show you your scrunchie. Isn't that cute? Now, all we need to do is pull this one out and carefully unpin it, or untie it. I would leave it go, yeah. Leave it like that. Now then pull the knots apart, open, because we don't need to leave the safety pin in there. Those are our tools. We have, sewing people have the neatest tools. Now we'll untie this tool. Now we have both ends together. I am going to pull it tight so that I can make a nice knot. I don't know what kind of knot that is, but it's going to be a tight one, so it will not come apart. Now you have your little scrunchie. I'm going to close the edge on the machine. Just kind of tuck it down like that. You can see where the seam ends on this side. And I'll put a pin like this. And you see the end of it on the other side. Now we'll start the bunny. Keep the bunny going. Now then, I'm going to go off the fabric and just do a little reverse stitching. And I like 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And just close that. And take your pin, your straight pin, kind of go around and find the end of the other seam, which is right here. And then the seam toward it. And then I run off the edge, do a little double stitch. Don't forget to cut your bunny. Isn't that neat working with a bunny? You don't have all those threads you have to cut and find a place for them. And there's your scrunchie. Isn't that cute? All done. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to make a couple of these because they really look cute. And have a nice day.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.